Alrighty guys, I'm Morthadon bringing you guys my rewatch series of My Hero Academia episode 8. I just got done watching episode 7. I think I'm only watching 2 tonight, but we'll see. Just kind of binging a little bit. If you don't know how my rewatch series works, refer to the first video in this rewatch series. I explain it all and what it means and everything. Um, but yeah, so last episode, which I just watched, I'll just touch up on it really quickly. The entire episode was a lot of backstory between Midoriya and Kachan, and we had the whole fight between the two, which Midoriya and Uraka ended up winning, and Bakugo and Ida ended up losing. Alright, and that pretty much sums up the whole episode because that's all that really did happen. There wasn't like a whole ton besides like a ton of backstory stuff and some insight as to why Kachan is the way he is. But yeah, I just want to hop right into episode 8. Just so you guys know, I am watching subtitled, and it's a timer-based reaction that you can watch over there in the corner. Makes it easier to pump a lot of these out each week instead of editing, like a normal reaction. These I can just kind of sit here, watch, and then throw in my editing process and throw up a timer at like the right point when I'm done counting down. And yeah, so unfortunately, you guys see the footage yourself. Once I get up to my reaction series of this, where I'm caught up to where I left off, it will turn into actual reactions where you'll have like the Vimeo videos and everything. But yeah, alright guys, so we are going to start the episode in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. You should be watching. Okay, so we get a little bit of recap, it seems like. I forget, like, I honestly don't remember how much recap they show in this show. But it's not... as far as the last episode, it's not that bad. Yeah, so we just get a glimpse of the last little fight real fast. Get to see all this good shit again. I like how they changed, like, the voice dialogue, for this. Like, a lot of times they only show scenes that happened in the previous one, but they shifted this around a little bit, sped it up a bit, and also gave Bakugo some of, like, the important voice lines through the episode. So that's pretty cool. Because he has to break himself. Yep. I believe... I know there's after credits coming up, but I can't remember if it's this episode or not. But I watch all the way through the credits anyway. Yeah, so that recap was actually pretty long, to be honest, but that's fine. But now we have the intro, the sweet, sweet music to my ears, literally. Wonder if there's any significance to his books ending at the number 13 in this intro. Probably not. It's probably just the amount that he has so far. God, I love these intros so much. Last time I recorded, I was talking about watching the season 3, the first one for season 3 again, and yeah, I never ended up doing it. Okay, so I thought Momo was the one that said that originally, but it wasn't. I'm actually not even sure who said that. I don't think it showed them talking. I feel like it might have been Kirishima's voice. Yeah, he did. But he still got super beat up to do it. You pushed him to his limits. God, he just has a nervous breakdown. I'm glad All Might notices. Bakugo's start line. Ida's so surprised. Time for Momo to roast everybody. And that's the same reason why Midori is and the MVP, you know. I'm really glad they did this part here because it really it shows that the show isn't um doesn't need the main character to be the top always, you know. A lot of shows it'll be like, oh, you know, the main character is the one that, you know, did the best here for these reasons, but Ida got like the credit for the MVP even though his team lost and everything. It's very cool. And their reasoning is very sound. And I'm kinda glad they explained it because I'm not sure if I would have thought of all of it beforehand, like if I would have came up with as much as Momo did for like the reasoning why Ida is the MVP. Alright, we get to see some other people go. I'm gonna get serious. Just takes off her gloves. And boots. I really wonder if we're ever gonna get to see her someday. Like, I wonder if, there will ever be, like, what would happen if, Aizawa used his quirk on her? Would she become visible? This is kind of an interesting thought. Or someone's quirk similar. Time to show off, Todoroki. I'm definitely glad they got rid of the ice on his armor, though. I talked about, or like his costume, I guess. I talked about this in another episode where that design got changed, and I think it might have been because of, God, it's so OP. Um, but yeah, they decided to change the design of his costume because people said it looked stupid and stuff. It's just so OP. Just freeze everything and walk by the enemies. And Bakugo's finally in the mindset that he's not the best. He's starting to realize that other people might be able to beat him too. I love that so much. Like, half cold, half hot. I love how President Mike just like adds in his little stuff when he does that. It's not just like straight up narration, it's like his own opinion too. Almost. Even though he's not there or anything. That's right, they don't show the winners after, right? They just demonstrate the quirks a little bit. And this, um, Tokoyami, is that his name? His quirk, he has like the claws coming out of his back that almost look like wings. And they talk about how he can change forms of his thing, but he always goes for like the dark shadow, like the creature, like the entity kind of form that we see in season 2 a lot. And I wonder if that's just his preferred form, or did they decide to change his ability some after this season and decide to just make it like a little entity that talks and stuff. Poor Aoyama and his cape. Yeah, I was thinking the Sero, the guy with the tape elbows. I feel like he'd be really good in this, just to like tie people up. But I'm not sure. I'm not really sure who he versed because they skipped through it so quick, and I don't know if he won. But he just books it because he's about to go shrinky dink. Yeah, he is. Such a good teacher being able to like notice that stuff about their kids. Like, I've had some teachers in school like that are like very perceptive, but then other ones just don't care, and it's like very clear the difference between the two. I love how rational um recovery girl is too. Like how she almost pushes him to change. I was so mind blown when I first found out that she like knew about his power. I wonder how she ended up learning. Freaking this old lady sarcasm's the best. Mr. Natural Born Hero. He doesn't mention uh the other guy. I don't want to say too much about the future. I've said that before, but there's another guy that knows about it, and he didn't mention there. I wonder if that guy wasn't like thought up yet when they mentioned this here. And All Might's hands are massive. Like obviously when he's in his big form, his hands are big, but when he's in his like small form, his hands are still like they're a lot thinner and everything, but they're still big. I forgot how much like recap-ish kind of stuff they show in this episode. Creepy. You gotta hand it to Midoriya though. He's like he still goes to class even though he's so hurt. Like I feel like he could have just gone home. Like the sun's setting. Like why are they still at school? Um But he's also so concerned with Bakugo when he's like so injured and everything. Like he never really thinks of himself much. I love how she just interrupts him. I just noticed he's still trying to introduce himself, like, behind Mina. Freaking love Mina so much. I talk like that too sometimes. Like, most of the time I don't, but every now and then when I'm really getting into, like, a discussion while I'm recording a video, I'll be, like, talking like this, and, you know, I can't believe that happened, and, you know, like, geez, like, I don't know. I can't do it, like, on command, but a lot of times I'll be like, in that time, like I'm almost pointing at something, but not really. Oh boy. I was pretty angry at this point. There was not gonna call out any names, but there was several reactions I watched. And like maybe other people got confused too. But I was pretty sure he was just going home for the day. Like, I don't think I thought anything else, but a lot of the reactors I watched were saying, like, he's quitting the school after just that? He's such a baby. And it's like, no, he's just going home for the day. Like, the sun's setting. The class is over. But I mean, I can see where they were coming from for that. You know, I guess since everybody else is in the class and all that, you might assume that he is just like trying to leave the school or something. I don't know. But I think that also changed the way I viewed his reveal right here because I was like, oh, you probably shouldn't have done that, but I was also like, well, he is like gonna be a hero, so maybe it's not that bad, you know? But I forget if I like thought he was gonna go like Sasuke Naruto route or if I thought he was gonna like stay in the hero course and everything. I forget which one I thought like was the more like logical at the time when I like first watched this. Too long ago. I love this moment so much though. You finally get some like non like some emotion other than anger from Bakugo, which is fantastic. This really like altered my opinion of him a bit. Like, so for example, I think before I saw this as him being like cocky and angry, but then after this episode, I think I started seeing his like anger as kind of funny. Um and like as like an entertaining like part of his personality rather than like pissing me off, you know? It's kind of cool. Although I don't think you should tell All Might to shut up here. I guess he doesn't quite say shut up, but he says that stops him from his like conversation and everything. I like how All Might acknowledges that. It is. It's gonna be pretty hard to be like a good teacher, you know? I mentioned earlier in this episode. Was it this episode? Either the previous episode or this one, I mentioned how, like, All Might's a good teacher. How he, like, tries so hard to really help each and every student. You know, it's probably not hard to be like a not caring teacher. You just go in and do the lesson plan for the day, but you really got to pay attention to like which kids are struggling and why and everything. All right, and that is the end. Yeah, this definitely like this episode was one of the harder ones to watch as a rewatch because we got to see some of like the demonstration of the quirks of other people, but like the fight of the last episode, I still get like chills and excitement over and everything, even on a rewatch. But episodes like today, where nothing really like spectacular, and not today since I watched both today, but um, episodes like this one, I should say, nothing like super intense happened. I do really like, I really enjoy seeing that ending bit with Bakugo again, but that's probably why I talked a lot more in this one than the last one, is I just tried to fill my like lack of like super interest in the episode with like discussing different aspects of it. But it's also the whole point of the rewatch series is the fact that I don't have to like read every bit of subtitle because I like know roughly what happens. I obviously don't remember every single line that they say, but yeah. So it gives me the opportunity to do more discussing and coming up with thoughts and like things I didn't get to think about, if I were reacting. Oh yeah, that's right. This one has the after credits. That's what I was wondering. I was pretty sure it did, but see if I can notice anything different here. Probably not, but cunning and terrifying villains. I remember hearing his voice for the first time, and I was like, "That's such a good, creepy voice." And they just have a skull up there on the cabinet, trying to look for things in the background that I might not have noticed before. God, his voice actor's so good. Alright, I'm ending it there. That preview. That is the end of episode 8. So yeah, like I was saying during the credits, that was definitely, like, not the most exciting episode to rewatch, but hopefully the discussions that I had throughout the episode talking about stuff, really, made it a bit better. Maybe it made it worse. Sorry, if it did. But anyway, just kind of how it is. But yeah, so I really loved, like, the different emotion we got from Bakugo. I mentioned it in the episode as well when we were seeing that part, but all throughout this episode, like, you could see him, like, almost like his confidence was shattering. Like, he's still confident after this, but I feel like he's not as confident. Like, I was gonna use some examples, but never mind. I'll brush up on them as I get to them. But yeah, the whole, like, the rest of this episode was kind of, like I said during the one part in this episode, it was kind of like demonstrating the powers, which I know all of their quirks, since this is a rewatch. I've seen up, ahead, and so I know all their quirks, so that wasn't, like, exciting to see, although I did enjoy talking about the Tokuyami thing, because that was something really interesting to me, about the fact that, Tokuyami's power was shown as, like, wings here, and I believe they talked about, or not wings, but, like, arms coming out of his back, and they talked about how he can make it into any form that he wants, but the only form we ever see him do later on in the show is, like, the shadow, like the person kind of thing. Not quite person, but the creature, that talks. So, I don't know. I'm wondering if that was, like, a change in the design choice. Like, they didn't want to have to get creative with coming up with, like, good uses for him to, like, change the form into. Or maybe that's just his preferred method, and later on in the season he can still do it. I'm curious about that, or if, like, his powers were just, like, changed by the writers a bit, and, like, the creature form is all it can do in, like, the later part of the show, and it's just not consistent with the start. I don't know. But yeah, it was still a good episode. I remember when I first watched it, this was a really good one. I understood that they needed to do, like, a little bit of a slower episode after the previous one being, like, so good with, like, that animation and everything, and all that, so yeah. I also loved the reveal of the villains here, and I love, like, just hearing his voice again at that part. Like, I sometimes try to look at this when I'm rewatching it as, like, how would I have felt my first time? And that, like, the way he talks is definitely, like, creepy. The voice actor does a magnificent job. I forget how he sounds in the dubbed, if he sounds that creepy as well, but either way, the frickin' Japanese version's incredible for his voice, in my opinion. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I think I'm gonna call it there. if you guys enjoyed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and check out my other content. I don't usually do rewatch series. Majority of my channel is reactions. So if this is like the first thing you're seeing from me, go check out my reactions, because those are, I feel like, my better content, obviously, because I'm watching stuff blind rather than, you know, the way this is set up. And if you only came here for My Hero, you're not interested in any of the other shows on my channel, but you're not liking the rewatch series, then if you wait a bit, once I catch up to where I was, I'll be doing actual reactions to the rest of Season 3 that I haven't seen, and the movies as well. And maybe by then we'll be closer to Season 4 coming out. I actually have no idea when Season 4 is coming out, or maybe it's already started. I honestly don't know. Well, no. I should say I'm pretty sure Season 4 hasn't started, because the reactors that I watch haven't started them, because I keep an eye on their new videos. But yeah, anyway guys, thanks for watching. I will see you guys next time. Have a good week and all that, and yeah, bye-bye.